conservative isn't on the side. It's in the middle between these two. So the most conservative, Orthodox, the most liberal is Reformed, not conservative. And
right.
so conservatives in the middle.
Let's look at it like this. You have one group on the right, and you have two groups on the left. Reform further to the left, conservative not as far to the left.
Okay, got it.
So conservative Jews still believe in a personal Messiah, but how real is that in their lives? That's questionable. They have more emphasis on maintaining the traditions, but they also have opened the way, say, for homosexual clergy. And again, I just use that as an example that would indicate things.
All right, so if I were looking in a phone book at temples, is it listed there, Reformed, Orthodox, conservative?
Well, absolutely. Now, if it's a temple, it won't be Orthodox. It's Reform that began to call things a temple. The temple's in Jerusalem. Orthodox have synagogue, or a shul, which is the old word for school, a place of study and worship. So the Orthodox have synagogue, shul. The conservative and Reform have temples.
Right, because I've had Jewish friends say, I got to go to temple.
Right, so the moment they say that, they're telling you they're not Orthodox.
Got it. Okay, got it.
So
Great.
on the practical level, for conservative and Reform, belief in Jesus, that's an issue. We don't believe in that. We're against it. There's a built-in hostility. But it's totally different than the Orthodox. The Orthodox, you have in common with them, if you're an evangelical Christian, a deep respect, reverence for God in a very serious way. Every day of your life that you're living to please God. That's the way an Orthodox Jew is thinking. And an Orthodox Jew is actually believing that the Bible is literally God's Word, although interpreted in light of rabbinic tradition.
Okay.
Whereas conservative and Reformed, they're much more secular. The issue of really strong belief in God is almost a bigger issue than the specific belief in Jesus. Although, again, just a gut-level reaction, they'll reject faith in Jesus just like you reject faith in Muhammad or Buddha. But the fact is that the great majority of these Jewish people who will come to faith through the witness of a Christian friend.
Yes.
Now, we have our frontline work of Jewish apologetics and all that we do, because when they come to faith, they've got 1,000,001 questions. Or on the way to faith, they have 1,000,001 questions, and we're there to help them. But it's basically building a relationship like you would with any person, showing them the evidence of Jesus working in your life, the reality of your relationship with God, and that He's made a difference in you. And then they're lost people. They need the Lord. They have the same issues that anyone else would have, and you reach out in that way. And if specific issues come up about Jesus, that's when you sit down and seek to open up the prophecies with them. If you're dealing with an Orthodox person, there are different walls right from the start, and sometimes the approach has to be a little bit different.
Okay, but we have inerrancy in common with the Orthodox regarding the Old Testament, right?
Yes, and especially the right-wing Orthodox who would actually believe that every word of the Torah was dictated to God by Moses.
And do not make that assumption with the conservative and Reformed. It may be the case, but it's not always the case.
Oh no, it won't be the case.
It will not be the case. Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. And Dr. Brown, Michael, I've got a lot of questions. I know a lot of my listeners do too. 888-995-55